I think we can all agree on this. Gen Z can't afford to live. The average rent is higher than the average 2-week paycheck. Grocery prices never seem to come down. And on top of that, doing anything fun always ends up costing at least $100 or more. It's like the $100 is the new 20. Keep in mind, they're not really doing anything wrong here. All of this is because people managing the economy are following a playbook that Peter Drucker called a catastrophic mistake over 30 years ago. In this video, I'm going to walk you through why exactly the system we're in feels so broken. We're going to use Drucker's book called The Post-Capitalist Society. I'm going to answer 3 questions. What went wrong, why it happened, and who actually owns the system that's pricing us out. But it's not who most people think it is. Allow me to explain. Let's start with what went wrong. Your observation of big business chasing internal profits over everything else is the exact root of our dysfunction. You see, in the 1970s and the 1980s, multinational corporations underwent a frantic redefinition of their purpose, shifting management's focus from delivering value to our customers over to maximizing shareholder value. This was a massive mistake, and it got me wondering, where exactly did this idea come from? Hold on to that thought, we're going to come back to that in a little bit. So we can all agree that maximizing shareholder value was a catastrophic mistake. But why is it so wrong? You see, inside a business, there are only costs. Success and results only exist on the outside of an organization. That is, its impact on our society. This means that a business can only truly succeed when it solves a problem for a customer or the community. Like, for example, actually building affordable housing for people rather than just trading real estate like a speculative asset. When corporations start managing exclusively to boost their short-term stock prices, they begin damaging the long-term success of their own business and our society. Furthermore, this obsession with short-term financial engineering completely alienates the workforce. As Drucker wisely pointed out, the modern knowledge worker simply will not be motivated to work just to make a shareholder rich. Power must always be balanced by responsibility, or else it becomes tyranny and degenerates into non-performance. This is why so many products and services today feel subpar and underperform. Organizations are the most powerful social force in our modern world. This power must be balanced by taking responsibility. You see, economic performance, aka profit, is the first baseline requirement for a business to survive, but it is not its sole responsibility. Organizations must take social responsibility because in today's world, there is no one else around that will take care of society itself. But what do we mean by organizations taking social responsibility? It's not our modern definition of PR stunts and cause-related marketing. What this means is organizations have full responsibility for its impact on community and society. This means delivering high-quality goods and services for its customers, taking ownership of any negative impacts it has on the community, and looking for opportunities to solve broader social problems only when those problems align with their own competencies, so they're not stepping outside of their lane. Drucker argues that when you trace down to who actually bears the consequences of this alienation between corporation and worker, and then follow the money to see who actually owns the companies doing this alienation, the conclusion is very surprising. This also means we need to have a completely different conversation. This leads us to the second question, why this is happening. You see, in the old days, capitalism was dominated by 2 classes, the capitalists who owned the means of production and the workers who were dependent on them. But in today's day and age, this is no longer the case. Our basic economic resource is no longer capital, land, or manual labor. The decisive factor of production today is, in fact, knowledge. We are now living in a system of capitalism without capitalists, aka the post-capitalist society. Through investment funds, 401k retirement accounts, mutual funds, etc., the employees of developed countries are actually the ones who own the vast majority of share in large corporations. Institutional investors and investment funds are the major sources of capital today. If we are moving into a post-capitalist society, what does this actually mean for the economy? This means that the giant pools of money driving the economy and buying up assets everywhere are actually the deferred wages of the working class, which was accumulated to provide for retirement. Legally, these investment funds are the owners, but they are managed by anonymous salaried employees, and the ultimate beneficiaries are supposed to be the workers themselves. The classic capitalists of the 19th century have all but disappeared. Now, I want that to settle for a second. Think about this. The investment funds buying up the houses, driving up the prices, maximizing short-term returns, those funds, in many cases, are your own deferred wages. They are your parents' deferred wages. The system that feels like it's working against you is technically owned by the people it's working against. This answers the third question. Who actually owns the system that's pricing us out? We do. So why does it still feel like we are losing? Because we have not yet figured out how to make this new investment fund capitalism accountable. The people managing these massive funds don't know how to act as responsible owners. They are only acting as short-term investors. If we want to overcome this, we have to develop a rigorous investment audit or business audit system that tracks a company's performance alongside long-term strategic goals. This way, it can force these fund managers to be accountable for external results rather than just short-term stock prices. We, the people, already have the power of ownership. It's our generation that has to now demand for its accountability. Now that's the overall collective picture. Let's talk a little bit about the individual picture and what most career advice kind of completely misses. As a member of Gen Z entering the workforce, you are likely already a knowledge worker, or AKA a highly skilled service worker. In the old capitalist system, the factory worker was totally dependent on the machine owned by the boss. So if you didn't have access to the factory back then, you pretty much just starved. But in today's post-capitalist society, this dynamic has completely flipped. Remember how I said the decisive factor of production today is in fact knowledge? This means you carry the means of production inside your own head. Your knowledge, your education, and your ability to process information belong to you and you alone. It cannot be taken away. While you still might need an organization to apply your knowledge effectively, the organization is just as dependent on you as you might be on them. A computer or a lab is completely unproductive without the knowledge worker there to tell it what to do. Same goes for AI. It requires accountability to be productive. And because you own your own knowledge, you have mobility. Loyalty can no longer be bought with just a simple paycheck. Organizations are going to have to earn your loyalty by offering you exceptional opportunities to be effective and do meaningful work. You are not a subordinate, you are an associate and a specialist whose contribution is vital. Recognizing your own leverage is the first step out of disillusionment. So we've established the problem, established who owns the capital, and established your own individual leverage as a knowledge worker. The last piece of the puzzle is the one that most people don't really want to tackle, which is, what is the positive path forward? If we want to fix the can't afford to live crisis, we cannot rely entirely on the government to save the day. For the last several decades, we have lived under what Drucker called the megastate, which is the belief that the government should be the master of the economy and the manager of all our social problems. But the megastate has reached a dead end. It has failed to effectively redistribute our income. It has become an obese pork barrel state, as Drucker called it, which is where politicians spend public money just to buy votes from special interest groups. The positive path forward lies in what Drucker calls the social sector. This is the massive network of nonprofit, autonomous community organizations that actually get things done. The megastate has all but destroyed true citizenship, reducing our political involvement to just paying taxes and casting a ballot. But true citizenship is not just an identity. It is an active commitment. It means taking responsibility and making a difference in your community. This is also where attempts at profit maximization have no ground to stand on. Remember when I mentioned earlier how big business redefined its purpose as profit maximization in the 1980s? That's all thanks to Milton Friedman and his 1970s essay titled Friedman Doctrine: The Social Responsibility of Business is to Increase Its Profits. Yeah, the title says it all: Neo-Keynesian economics. Drucker directly addresses Friedman, calling his shareholder theory futile and irresponsible. But sadly, the Friedman Doctrine took the business world by storm. It was like a hall pass for greed, rebranding selfishness as virtue. This is where the social sector comes in, as it completely bypasses the Friedman Doctrine. Because true nonprofits, by their very definition, cannot be focused on maximizing profits. By turning to the social sector, whether that's local housing cooperatives, community health incentives, educational nonprofits, or maybe a neighborhood advocacy group, Gen Z can bypass the gridlock of traditional corporate and government bureaucracies. In these organizations, you aren't just labor or a simple employee. You are, in fact, a partner. This is where you can find the community, commitment, and purpose that modern society so often lacks. A message to Gen Z. You are right to be disillusioned. This can't afford to live crisis is not a failure of resources. We currently live in a time of unprecedented abundance of resources. So this is a failure of management. We already own the capital. Through investment funds, the people already own most of the corporations. We have the knowledge. As knowledge workers, you already carry it within you. What's missing from all of this is accountability. And that gap is not a structural gap. It is a choice of whether or not we are going to exercise our leverage. Drucker saw this coming over 30 years ago. The question he left open was whether the generation that inherits this broken system would be able to recognize their own leverage so they can change our trajectory. And now, this question belongs to you. So what do you think? Does Drucker's investment fund argument change how you see the system, or does it just make you angrier? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read all of them, and I really want to know if this was impactful for you as it was for me when I first read this. If this challenges the way you see management, please subscribe. That's exactly what this channel is here to do. And if you know somebody who is convinced the system is broken but doesn't know why, please send this video to them. It's your efforts that help Drucker's ideas make an impact on our world. As always, thank you so much for your time and attention. I will see you next time.